So here's this news, breaking news. This just came out.
Has been following the fallout for FEMA and getting help on the way. The trouble is, help isn't always on the way or even that affordable. They're growing back and forth on this about how FEMA is handling this. Chad, what can you tell us?
Neil, good afternoon. There is a lot of sniping over the politics of disaster relief. It's part of this year's elections. Lawmakers on the right are torching the administration. They believe the feds were not ready for Helene. This worries leaders as Milton bears down on Florida.
When you talk to the people who are directly affected, they will tell you that this has been an abject failure. FEMA has lost sight of its core mission, I think, in so many cases, and the administration has not shown that they were prepared for this eventuality and this terrible disaster.
There are different budget lines for money which help cities cope with the migrant crisis and disaster aid, but some Republicans believe DHS is focused on resettling illegal immigrants and not on the storms.
The administration seems to have no problem finding money when they want to spend it on their priorities. When they need hundreds of billions of dollars to pay off student loans for graduate students in gender studies programs, they somehow find it. When it's trying to get helicopters to deliver food and water and cellular service and life-saving medicine into these mountain valleys, they somehow can't seem to find the money.
Nancy Mace of South Carolina wants to end help for migrants. She's written a bill to halt the program, but the administration pushed back on allegations that illegal immigration is draining disaster relief funds.
Just plain false. This kind of rhetoric is not helpful to people. You know, it's really a shame that we're putting politics ahead of help.
Now, you can't see because my big head's in the way. She has an emblem here, right where my nice IPA is, that says FEMA. Now, FEMA's own documents, their own documents that they wrote up themselves, says that money went to illegal immigrants. It's FEMA's own words, but it's not real. But don't worry, she's an administrator, you guys. You can trust her.
Helping people. We've had the local officials helping to push back on this dangerous, truly dangerous narrative that is created.
That's how you know. That's how you know she's a liberal. That's how you know she's a Democrat. It's truly dangerous. Isn't it dangerous that you guys sat there and spent billions or millions, however much, on illegal aliens and didn't send it to people that are actually in need? Like, you don't mean Americans that paid their own hard-earned money, that in an event like something this would happen, that they would get the services back that they paid into? Isn't that a little bit more harmful? Isn't that a little bit more, I don't know, problematic? I'm sure that person's house that's sitting there fucking destroyed would really love more than $750, but don't worry. Illegal immigrants in Chicago are getting 84 grand. That's just lovely in services, in food, in legal fees, in schooling, health, in transportation, in housing, in any sort of assistance. But don't worry, you guys, that's all misinformation. Yep, we're just pulling it out of our asses right now. Okay.
Creating this fear of trying to reach out and help us.
Mike Johnson is refusing to summon lawmakers back to Washington to deal with the dual disasters. He says Congress will address hurricane damage when lawmakers meet after the election next month. Neil?
Chad, program on Capitol Hill. Thank you, Chad.
I don't know how I feel about that. Those people need help. They are Americans. And what you're actively seeing, and I know we said it yesterday, I know we've said it in the past, and we'll continue to say it. I know it's beating a dead horse, but the Democrats are going to leave Americans behind. Democrats are going to sit there and take care of everybody else. They're going to allow terrorists and have allowed terrorists into the interior of the country. They're going to sit there and try to pull foozery in the election. It's already happening. There's people already getting ballots that shouldn't have. There's people getting upwards of 6 ballots. There's people getting ballots shipped to other properties that nobody lives there anymore. So what I'm saying is the same thing that happened in 2020 is going to happen again. They are terrible. They are terrible at negotiating. They are terrible at solving problems. Case in point, you all remember this guy. Look at this. Russian terrorist freed by Biden-Harris is selling weapons again. To who? Terrorists. And who those terrorists attacking? Oh, it's our Navy. Isn't that just lovely? Who could have thought this would happen? And who did we exchange this nut job for? Y'all remember? Wasn't this the guy that was exchanged, Victor Bout? Wasn't this the guy that was exchanged for that basketball player, that Brittany Griner chick? The Wall Street Journal has reported this dude, now back in Russia, is selling weapons to the Houthis. And the Houthis is backed by who? Oh, well, the Iranians. The same Iranians that the Biden-Harris administration has been giving money to. Our taxpayer dollars. That $10 billion of humanitarian aid. You want to know who might just need some humanitarian aid right now, Kamala? You just, hold on. No, focus, Kamala. Hold on. Come closer. I know. Come on, focus. Zero in. Good. Yeah, you want to know who might need that $10 billion? Like, I don't know, a couple days ago? Americans. Well, it's frozen. They can't touch it. How about you get that shit out of Qatar and into the pockets of Americans so they could sit there and fix their ish? You're right, it pisses me off. We're backing freaking terrorist countries or countries that back terrorism. Well, it's frozen. They can't touch it. Good. Then give it back to us. Give it back to us. We need it. Yeah, I'm getting a little heated because you know what? When it messes, I don't care. There's Democrats in North, South Carolina, Georgia. They need help. They need help. I'm so tired of this crap, man. When are Democrats going to wake up? Just for one election. Like, when are you going to wake up? The Houthis have launched countless attacks against merchant vessels. Yeah, in the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, yep, over the last year. But don't worry, Kamala Harris, she's going to be rough. She's going to be tough. She's going to sit there and get the job done. She's rough. She's tough. She's going to get the job done. That's what these freaking progressives are coming up. She's rough. She's tough. She's going to get the job done. She's rough. She's tough. She's an idiot is what she is. Look at this. They've also launched attacks against Israel and U.S. Navy warships. Oh, goody. Glad we're giving them money, you guys. They've also shot down several U.S. surveillance drones. There you go. That cost how much? Yeah, did everybody see that price tag? How much do these drones cost? Just $30 million a pop. No big deal. Yep. Who cares? Whatever. It's just money. Just money. I'm telling you, man. Maybe Elon's right. We might not have a country. We might not have a country after this. You also have this. You have special ops here. Vets form Redneck Air Force to ferry aid into North Carolina mountains after feds come up short. The most powerful military that's ever existed. Oh, we can't do it. This kind of makes sense. This is kind of an off subject, but it connects here. You remember when we were shooting those objects out of the sky and John Kirby stands on the podium and he goes, well, one of the objects we shot out, because people thought they might be aliens or something, lands in a specific part of terrain that we just can't get to. We don't know. So speaking of things we still don't have information about, we still don't know the objects that Joe Biden shot out of the sky, one of which missed, so we wasted $500,000 on that missile. Can't shoot a freaking balloon out of the sky. So hundreds of special operations personnel in North Carolina have formed their own hometown rescue and supply operation in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, after they grew tired of waiting for the federal government to get its act together. But don't worry, they solved it, you guys. Yeah, you saw Karine Jean-Pierre today against Peter Doocy. Yeah, they have it all figured out. They're taking it seriously. They're solving the problem. And, now you got these people rising up, these fine people. Who's FEMA? Ex-Green Beret Adam Smith responded when asked about the agency's presence on the ground since the deadly storm ravaged a rural western part of the state. Yeah, who's FEMA? Where are they? We haven't seen them. The disaster has definitely proven without a shadow of doubt that FEMA's incompetence and incapability. Yeah. Well, it's not just them, but it's the administration. It's the whole administration. They suck. They suck big time. And I know I'm repeating myself. I just don't understand how you can come to the conclusion after everything that's happened, you can just list off the top of your head that you could say, well, Kamala Harris and the Democrats, yep, they're gonna fix our problems. They're gonna fix our problems. Freaking bozos. They couldn't even fix illegal immigration. We got more stuff here from illegal immigration. They can't even fix that.
On a Cobb County home ends with the seizure of more than 1,100 pounds of meth.
Fox 5's Kevin Stewart joins us now live from the Russell Federal Courthouse in Atlanta with more. Kevin?
Guys, the DA got a tip to break this case last week, and we're told when they showed up at the house, before they ever walked in, agents say they were overwhelmed with the smell of meth.
This is meth oil, big garbage cans of it, ready to be turned into meth.
Very large amount of methamphetamine.
Seized by the feds, never to hit the streets. Found in what's described as a quiet neighborhood in unincorporated Marietta on Pear Road near several schools.
What's unusual about this situation is this is what we normally find in the jungles of Mexico and not in a neighborhood in Marietta with at least a dozen schools within a couple miles circumference, including an elementary school 4/10 of a mile away.
The DA says this is 500 kilos of meth, $1.5 million on the street. 2 Guatemalan passport holders believed to be tied to a Mexican drug cartel are now in federal custody.
Let's replay that real quick.
Tied to a Mexican drug cartel are now believed to be tied to a Mexican drug cartel are now in federal custody.
This is interesting to me, as from an investigative side. We clearly are making a dent in the chemists that they're willing to send over, because these two individuals from Guatemala, even though they're associated with a cartel, they came from Guatemala, and not from Mexico. So we might hopefully be making a dent.
Authorities call the operation large and sophisticated.
I have another one queued up, folks, where a Dallas woman was brutally beaten and robbed by 4 men, at least one of whom was an illegal alien. Like I said, we could do this every day. We could do it every day. It's only you think this is bad? Wait till you have another 4 years of it. Don't get me wrong, we'll have a ton of content. I'm not going anywhere. But this country's gonna be hurting. We're gonna be hurting if Donald Trump loses. I am asking, please go vote or vote early. We can't even take care of ourselves, man. We can't even take care of actual Americans. And Democrats, she's not going to take care of you. Donald Trump doesn't care that you're a Democrat. He will take care of you because you're an American.